I'm your host, Sharada Devi, of the Born to be Free podcast that serves as a bridge between the ancient and the new era, a confluence of opposites where all is seen as sacred and every experience is meant to catapult you into your supreme destiny. Welcome, everyone. I'm Sharada Devi, your host of the Born to be Free podcast. And I'm here with a very special guest. Her name is Purnama Melissa. She is from Switzerland, just like me. She is half Swiss, just like me. And she's also half Asian. She is from Mother Bali. Her mother is from Bali, from outside Ubud. And I'm not from Bali, even though I feel Balinese. I've been living in Bali for 17 years, but I'm half Filipina. And we both grew up in Switzerland. We didn't know each other in Switzerland, but we got to meet in Bali at a yoga teacher training where I was teaching yogic philosophy and puja and chanting. And she was one of the students in the Vaidika Dharma yoga teacher training with Daniela Mandala, who was also at the podcast here, a beautiful episode. And then I remember so well, you were there, you had the guitar, you were playing the guitar. And full of inspiration and fire. And wow, like I don't remember how many years that was ago, but like the journey you have taken these last years is incredible. It's so touching, so moving to see you like grow, shine, bloom like the unique lotus flower that you are in every way. And especially one of the ones that you really have shared your heart and gifts here, and I know around the world, is through your voice, which is uniquely beautiful and moving. When I listen to Purnama, her songs, her prayers, they make me crying because they touch me so deeply. And she shares her love for Balinese art, offering the rituals with the community. She's deeply involved with the community here in Mother Bali and supports the Balinese, supports the Western people, because you're an amazing bridge for that, of course. And yeah, I invited her back in the days. She was I don't know if you still do that, but at that time she was a photographer and videographer. So she would come and videograph and photograph the priestess training that I held quite a couple times actually. And then it just continued, and so I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much. Recently I had a beautiful vocal session, vocal healing liberation session with her, and yeah, we have so many topics to dive into that we're eager to dive into. Being dual culture, growing up in Switzerland, not feeling at home in Switzerland, trying to find community, and full circle. So let's just see where the goddess takes us today. So welcome, Purnama.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I think it was 7 years ago, 6, that we met in the training. And that was also when I just arrived back to Bali. When I decided to move back and follow my heart, follow my intuition, that led me back here. And everyone in Switzerland saying, no, you're crazy, you should finish your studies. And yeah, and since then just feeling this blossoming, like you said, and also thanks to teachers like you that bring so much knowledge and wisdom.
Wow. Yeah. How are you today? What's happening in your life right now? And then we'll
I'm pretty good. It's very busy time right now because tomorrow is solstice, and my partner and I, we've been doing solstice ceremonies for the last years. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time, and since we're together, I'm joining him, joining forces. So we have that tomorrow, and I have a Balinese cultural immersion, and I have a private ceremony tonight, and yesterday we had an event, so it's quite full on. It's this pre-Christmas vibes as well. But very happy to be here, back in this space that I remember, I was in for the priestess trainings. Yeah, when I was doing photography. Yeah. I don't do that anymore, by the way. No. For myself, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was always a hobby. I always loved doing it as a hobby. And then at some point, I just followed the goddess, how you would say. And she was like, okay, now you do photography and videography. And for me, it was a way of transitioning from, because I didn't know, when I arrived to Bali, I didn't really know what I should do. Should I take a job and work for someone else and be employed? But my intuition was really very strongly no. But then how do I make an income? Because as a musician, I was still very, very much a beginner, nowhere to be able to make a living from it. And then photography and videography really supported me in that time of transition between, having been employed in Switzerland, working jobs, and doing what I do now, like doing ceremonies and music for a living. Yeah.
A dream for many.
Yeah.
Was it a dream for you ever to be a musician? Was that there in your heart?
Actually, no, because I didn't know it was available. Like I grew up, in the Swiss culture that like it was very strongly imposed on me that being an artist is not a way to make a living. And I remember that the people that were artists, that they, I don't know, started very young, like started to play guitar, violin when they were very young, like prodigies, and then going to Kunsthochschule, like to art university and things like that. And that path for me never seemed to be available because I didn't have artistic parents. I mean, my mom is a Balinese dancer, but then in Switzerland, she was, she's working normal jobs. My dad is a construction worker. So I never thought that the path was available for me. And it was very strongly, like, for example, I have this very strong memory that there was a girl in my school. She was very shy. But she loved to paint and to make illustrations. And then there was a day in high school that we were all asked what we wanted to do for a living. And then this girl, she said she wanted to be a painter. And then our teacher said, no, you cannot be a painter. Like, you cannot make a living. And that made such a deep impression on me, even though it was not directed to me, but like to, think you cannot be an artist. And, now I feel like that's like one of the biggest lies that we've been told as children, because art is so needed in this world. It's and even when you're a painter, when you're an artist like that, like illustrations are needed all the time, everywhere. I mean, now with AI it's changing a bit. Who knows? But still, like human art is is really something that we humans like all need. Like it's a necessity. Art is a necessity. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I remember so well. I always wanted to be a dancer, and I exactly like growing up in Switzerland. You cannot be a dancer. I mean, are you crazy? How are you going to make a living with that? And I would like look at websites and look at these dance schools, and I was just like, oh my god, but like no, I cannot. And then going through hotel management and
me too. I went to I did the Hotelfachfrau. That was the apprenticeship that I did.
Yes.
Yeah, because my parents have a guest house in Bali, so I was like, okay,
right?
Totally. And then, like, I remember I would like tell my parents, oh, I want to be a graphic designer, and they were like, or maybe I go to hotel, and they were like, oh yeah, that would be amazing. Then you can take over the hotel. And for me, that I saw like that brought me the most attention by my parents, and that's why I followed that. But like my heart wanted to be a graphic designer. Yeah.
So how do you have memories or moments that you would say marked your journey or spiritual journey, finding back to the Balinese roots also? Because I remember, I think you told me that at one point you actually, I don't know if you would say rejected it, but
not rejected, but I think I was very much colonized, I would say, because for me it's been a process of decolonization, because like my mom, she very much like embraced the whole Swiss culture when she arrived to Switzerland, and she really wanted to fit in. I mean, she was an immigrant in the 90s in the countryside, and it was definitely not easy for her. Like she didn't speak the language, she looked very different. So she tried all that she could to fit in into Swiss society, and like only speaking German with us. And I inherited a lot of that, and like wanting to fit in. I remember when I was a child, I wanted to be blonde and have blue eyes, because I was always like, why do I look so different from everyone else? So for a long time, and also like my mom also, she would always say, Bali is poor. Like, and she would tell her stories, how she grew up in poverty. And so for me, a long time, I thought that Bali was not a place where I could grow and bloom. Even though the opposite is true, as we know
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like when I
yeah.
came here, is actually when everything expanded.
And did you go to Bali when you were little? Did you come
Yes,
and
we went
visit?
here very often. I went to school here as well.
Okay,
Yeah, when I was 7 years old, my mom moved here with us, and I went to school here. But then back to Switzerland again when I was 10. And what changed it for me was actually traveling to South America, like to the other side of the world, and like just being out of the Swiss culture for a long time, and traveling there. I traveled from Argentina through Peru, Colombia, and yeah, and I had a very profound experience in the Amazon jungle, where suddenly everything made sense to me. Like of the Balinese religion, for example, my family is a priest family here in Bali. And so they have a lot of responsibility. They need to make many offerings, not only for the house, like already the house offerings are a lot. It's like 50 offerings every day. But they also have to make the offerings for the temples. And there's 2 temples that my family is responsible for. And it's 2 of the big temples in the village.
Wow.
So it's a lot of offerings. So I remember when I grew up, like seeing how the women in my family were burdened by the offerings, and like how much work and pressure that they're under. And so I always like wonder, like, why going through all of this work, you know, why making all these offerings every day that are going to be composted anyway, you know? For me, like then coming like from the Swiss side, like with efficiency and like no devotion and everything, I was like, this is nonsense. But then when I was in Peru, I had like this profound experience. And also in Argentina, when I was camping and like watching the stars, of how God is in everything, how God is in every tree, and surrounding us at all times, and how these offerings are an expression of devotion and an expression of harmony, calling in harmony, and and it's hard to describe it in words, especially now after all these years. But like for me, that was really like a moment that I realized, like, wow, actually, this is a service that the Balinese people do for the world and for this. Like, that's why this place is so magical and why people love to come here, because we still acknowledge and honor the unseen every day. You know, the devotion here is so strong. And there it clicked for me and it made sense. And I was like, I need to go back home. I need to go back to Bali. Like, it was very strong then, that message, like, you need to go back to Bali and learn again your ways, learn again the ways of your ancestors that have been forgotten, that my mother was going away from, but actually like hold such deep truth and such deep wisdom that the world has forgotten about. Yeah, so it was very profound moment for me. And then that's when I decided, like, I'm going back to Bali. Yeah.
And then you found the yoga teacher training.
Yes.
Was that like the first step into yoga, or you had done yoga before?
I was doing yoga before. When I was traveling in South America, I would like do yoga on the hostel rooftop or in the bus stop. Like I took like this 3-day bus ride. And I remember like in the stops, I would like go out and do yoga. And then like every bus stop, like I was like the only gringo on the bus. And then every bus stop, the kids would like look at me and like, what is this girl doing? Because like I just needed to stretch, you know, we're like sitting all day for 3 days. And then eventually the kids joined me and were like doing yoga poses with me. And also when I was doing yoga in the hostel rooftops, also like the people that I was traveling with also, oh, can you teach us?
Naturally.
Yeah. And you know, following the goddess.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this yoga thing, I think this is worth exploring. And then I decided to do a yoga teacher training. And I remember I came to Bali and I looked at a few yoga teacher trainings, and then I messaged Daniela, I messaged Soha Yoga, because there were, you know, there's so many yoga teacher trainings in Bali. But I had a certain budget, and I messaged Daniela and told her that I'm half Balinese. And then she was like, oh, we would love to have someone from Bali in our training and come and join us. And yeah, and that's how it started. And I'm very, very grateful for Daniela until this day for this opportunity that she offered to me. And yeah, and through this, like also meeting like so many amazing people, meeting you, like definitely was the best choice I could have done in regards to yoga teacher trainings. And yeah, until this day, I'm like telling people, go to Soha Yoga. Yeah.
And what was the entrance, or how was the entrance into the music and the prayers?
Music has always been a strong part of my life. It was always my solace. Because, yeah, also growing up an outsider in Switzerland a bit, and also had a very, very difficult relationship with my mom when I was growing up. So music was like my safe space that I could go to. And yeah, and especially I remember when I was a teenager, like my favorite music was like this emo rock that like really like could express yeah, this feelings of like being foreign. And I'm trying to remember now how I started in making music. Yeah, it really started in South America. Like I remember when I traveled there, and then I would join open mics, but like as a audience, like as
Yes.
a watcher, and became friends with musicians.
Yeah.
Like that was my first time like actually like becoming friends with musicians and with music producers and DJs. And I was like, oh, like finally I met people who this was a living for, because in Switzerland I didn't know anyone. And I was like, oh, you can make a living with this. Like all these people are doing it. Um, and then on my travels, like meeting rainbow people and we would sing to the food, you know, like lining up for the food and singing to the food and things like that. And I think it showed me like the way how music is actually very natural, how like in certain societies, like music is reserved for a special occasion, like for like a choir or for holidays or whatever. But then like realizing, no, music can be part of everyday life. Like you can sing to the food or you can sing together as a community. And yeah, and then I started to find my voice again and find the joy in singing, because I've always loved singing, but I just didn't think that my voice was good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it becomes a spiritual initiation, no? Because the music for you, I know, it's not just music. It's really a prayer, the way you share your songs, and now diving so deep also into the ceremony, and with Juan offering the ceremonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like music is like doors to other portals, because music transcends it can transcend time and space. It can awaken memory. It can bring us deeper. Like I feel music is the language, like same like prayers and like mantras is a language of spirit. I feel like it's on a different vibration than when we speak, and also very healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel, and also many people are on this with me, that sound healing, for example, will be the healing modality of the future. That in the future, sound healing will really be more of a thing. That people will realize the power that sound has. Like, yeah. And we all know, like, Aum, for example, is the primordial sound. And yeah, and this feeling when like a whole room of people sing Aum together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the vibration and the... So sound is very special. Music is very special. Yeah. And I feel honored. I feel like I'm a student of sound. There's still so much that I need to uncover, that I'm still like finding out how sound like can bend the energy. Like it can really affect the energy in a room and bend time and space. Like especially when we're in plant medicine ceremonies. It's like, yeah. Yeah.
And so now going back a little bit in time, Switzerland, and then we can go back to Bali, and like, because medicine as a healing, as sound healing, as a practice, as a doorway, and what are those imprints? Like you said, one of them, like I can never be a musician, I wouldn't make it, and what was for you those stories that got imprinted? Being in Switzerland and growing up there, and through the music, through the prayers, through the Balinese culture, living here, like meeting those stories, and I guess rewriting them. And one of them, that there's no community, no people that are like me, and I'm the only one in this planet. That's how I felt when I was growing up in Davos.
Yeah.
in this town of 14,000 inhabitants, and I felt like an alien. And I remember all I wanted was to get away as soon as I could, which I did when I
Yeah.
was 18 years old. I left, and
Mm-hmm.
it took me years to come back.
Yeah.
And it was a huge process for me to get back and to come to peace, and coming to like a Rise Up gathering
Yeah.
festival organized by beautiful Yelena and Melanie, actually my own sister, blood sister,
Yeah.
and discovering there are so many amazing people and there is community. But that
Totally.
immersing again and emerging and meeting the wound, not belonging and being different. And how has that been for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was very similar. I grew up in a very small town at the Bodensee, the Lake of Constance, and like 2,000 people. And so for me, like, I tried to escape already when I was 16. Like, we would go to Zurich and party there in Zurich and come back, like, I don't know, Monday morning, something like that.
We would go from Davos, we would take the train. I was
Yeah.
15 years old, and Friday night and all night going to Cubanito, I don't know, Hey Club, if those are in
Yeah.
Zurich. We're all like R&B and hip hop and ragamuffin underground clubs.
Yes, we went to Abart and like played like indie
Okay, yeah.
emo song. I don't know. And yeah, going to festivals, like, so for me, I tried as often as possible to like escape the small town. And also, as soon as I was 18, moving out from my parents' house, moving to the next biggest city, and then as soon as I could, getting out of Switzerland. Yeah. And it was like I tried several times to find my tribe in Switzerland. I remember after moving to France and then coming back, I tried in St. Gallen, a big city in eastern Switzerland. And I just couldn't. Like, I felt like I was efforting so much to make friends, and I just couldn't make friends. And at some point, I realized like it was not me, because like that experience, like it really, for a moment, left like a deep wound in myself. Like this lack of community that I was experiencing, lack of friendship. And when I went abroad and like I had like a tribe, and I was like, oh, it's actually not me. Like, there's just some misalignment maybe between me and the people that I'm meeting, and like, yeah. And so I carried this wound when I moved to Bali, and I remember there was a moment that I felt like I don't want to be Swiss. That place has only brought me wounds and hurt and painful times that I was living there. And I was just rejecting that. And I think there was like even 2 years that I was living in Bali, and I was not speaking Swiss German. I was, completely like in my bubble here. And then after 2-3 years, I started to, because I felt like, you know, I need to make friends with my roots, with my ancestry. And I love my dad very much. My dad is Swiss, and but he passed away. So I felt also through his passing, also I lost like a part of this connection to the Swiss lands. And with his family, it's like we're not very close. Like his family, I feel like my Balinese family has always been warmer, has always been more welcoming, has always been, more there for me than my Swiss family has. But yeah, then after those 2-3 years, I started to meet Swiss sisters like Jelena, and Leticia is another Swiss sister, and Krista, and it was such a good feeling actually to speak Swiss German again, like to speak my mother tongue again that I grew up with, that is the first language that I learned to speak. And that's when the healing like started. And then I was playing with this idea to go back to Switzerland after 3 years of being in Bali nonstop. And I remember talking to Jelena and like saying, I want to go to Switzerland again, but I feel like there's no tribe there. There is no community. And Jelena was like, what? There's so many people. Like, it's such a big community. Just come to Rise Up Gathering. Because she was organizing this festival. And so I went, and she asked me to bring Balinese prayer. She was like, can you teach people about prayer, how you pray in Bali? I would really love you to do that. And and then it all started from there. Like, I remember now, Rise Up for me is like always like a homecoming, because it's like this place that I arrived to. And the first time that I was there, like just connecting with all these people from all over Switzerland that are like also into yoga and into mantras and chanting. And I
Ceremonies and
community
meditation.
ceremonies. Yeah,
Singing to the food.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing. I was like,
And
wow.
Yelena is she's an incredible goddess, full of power and
Yes,
passion and embodiment, and she's also a bridge. She's also
she really
dual
is.
culture. She's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah.
And she's so good at bringing people together. I feel like that's really her strength. Like just like, yeah, you come and like seeing like, oh, you can bring this into the space. Yeah, and then it all started from there, like collaborations, and then I started to come again to Switzerland every summer since then. And yeah, the tribe just keeps expanding. Like every time I go there, I meet more and more people, and we offer our ceremonies, and they're so well received. Because I feel like here in Bali, there is almost like a over supply.
Oh, really?
And like there, it's like really needed. But also there, it started to become more. Like I remember the first time I went there, you know, cacao ceremonies, there weren't so many, and now there's like so many.
Yeah.
So more and more people are like finding these ways, are finding their way to ritual and to devotion. And yeah, and even like this summer, Juan and I, we were like, wow, like almost feeling heartbroken when leaving Switzerland. Because usually I feel like, oh yeah, bye Switzerland, I'm going back to Bali. But then this summer we were like, oh, saying goodbye to the whole community was sad almost. So it really like flipped in the last years, from like feeling like I had no friends and no community to like really finding, so many people that are on the same wavelength.
Yeah. And I saw you went to Zermatt.
Yeah.
The Matterhorn. I did the offerings. I also do that. I go to Davos or Sartik. We have this beautiful valley called Sartik with the incredible waterfall, and I'm bringing all the offerings to the waters and doing the little
making a big offering to the apus there. I mean, they're so powerful.
So powerful.
It's such a powerful
incredible
place.
Yeah, those Alps.
Yeah. The grandfathers. Yeah, and I remember also, like, I used to grieve it a lot that we lost the ancient wisdom in Europe, that we don't have the connection anymore to our pagan traditions and the indigenous traditions of our lands. And then I was sitting in this tipi meeting that also Mel was sitting next to me, your sister. And there was a guy from an indigenous tribe in Colombia, and he was saying, you're grieving that you don't have elders, but just look around. Look at the mountains. Like, those are your elders. And for me, I had the same feeling, like that when I come to nature and when I come to the mountains, that they have a wisdom for me that can never be lost. That even though we lost the physical, like the human elders and that knowledge, but it's still like, if we listen deep enough with our hearts to the nature and to the apus, to the mountains.
The mountains, yes.
That, they've been there for eons.
Yeah. Yeah, and you even said that you're considering of staying more in Switzerland again now after 7 years in Bali, and maybe staying longer, doing the work there, contributing.
I feel a strong calling to eventually spend more time
there
again in Switzerland. And you know, like even now in my small town that my mom lives, she lives in Rorschach, which is like, and also usually when we come to Switzerland, we don't stay in my hometown in Eastern Switzerland. We usually go to Zurich, because Zurich is where
everything happens.
Everything happens, where all the ceremonies are, where there's a big expat community. But even now in Rorschach, a little shop has opened up called Mosquito, and they sell like these things from India and from Bali. And Punu,
I know that place actually. Yes.
And Punu Wasu offered a kirtan there
really?
in my hometown. That is like tiny hometown in the East Coast, you know. And it was so funny. And so Punu met up with my mom.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I was like, Punu, that's my hometown. My mom lives 10 minutes from that, 10-minute walking from that store. So I feel like it even now reached my hometown, and like just feeling this call to be in service, and spreading more this, because I feel really in Europe this is what we're longing for. We're longing for community. We're longing for sacred circles and for rituals, because we're realizing that just chasing after the carrot, like Juan always likes to say, chasing the carrot, is not really making us sustainably happy for a long time.
Yeah. And so bringing in the Balinese culture as well a lot.
Hmm.
And have you ever, I guess you have, but so that we can hear and dive into your world, like participated in the life of your family, the priestess family,
Hmm.
and like you said, 50 offerings a day plus all the offerings for the
Yeah.
temples.
Yeah. In the beginning, I
Yeah.
did. I remember when I came back, when I moved back to Bali, my intention was really to be with my family. And in the beginning, I really did.
Mm.
I tried as much as possible to be part with my family. I participated in all the ceremonies, went to the temples together, made offerings with my aunt. But it was not easy because my family would always like say, "So when are you gonna work?"
Mhm.
Which for me was like very telling to tell where the trauma comes from my mom, because my mom, she felt she could never rest. She always had to do something.
Right.
And like I
And when
came,
they said when you're gonna work, they meant like
like get a
working,
job.
get a job and make
Yeah.
money and
Yeah, because
yeah.
I was like, I had savings
Hmm.
like that I get made from my job in Switzerland that was
Hmm.
like gonna sustain me. I knew for a year if I
Mm.
live Balinese style, like eat Balinese food, stay at my mom's place, or maybe less. I think like it was enough for 6 months or so,
Yeah.
but still, like for me, I really just wanted to do that. But then I felt like the judgment coming from
Mm.
my family that was
Mm.
like, when are you gonna get a job? When are
Mm.
you gonna work?
Mm.
Like, are you just gonna hang around? But for me, it was not like, yeah, but it was a deep trauma that I had to work through, because I remember even when I was traveling in South America, I felt like I was not being productive. I was not making money.
Mm.
And then I had a very, very beautiful woman that I was living with, that she became like a mother figure to me.
Mm.
And I remember one time like saying that out loud, like, I'm not being productive, I'm not working. And she was like, honey, you're healing. Like, you are being productive. You
Mm.
can just exist. You can just be. You don't have to make money all the time. Yeah, and then like coming to Bali and like with this intention to heal, to connect with my ancestry, and then being met with that was very hard for me. And
Mm.
also because I knew that once I get busy, once I like plug in into the
Mm.
field and start working, I will not have time.
Yeah.
And that's literally what happened. Like once
Mm.
I started to get more and more involved with the expat community and offer more things like to make an income as well, like once the savings run low
Yeah.
and I had to, yeah, work, and then the time was not available anymore. So now I
Mm.
don't really have time anymore to do a lot of things with my family. And sometimes I'm sad that I
Mm.
like listened to that, what they said, and yeah, and then I would like go and get a job and like tell them, oh, I got a
Mm.
job.
Mm.
So yeah, and I
Mm.
know that they didn't mean bad, but that they were just like taking like caring for me.
Yeah.
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 And then also on the other side, I'm an outsider in Switzerland,
Mm.
and I'm also an outsider in Bali.
Bali.
Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
because I didn't grow up all my life here. I look different. I don't look like most Balinese. Like they see me, they speak English to me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I speak Balinese back to them, and they're like, oh, "How do you speak so good Balinese? You've been here a
Mm.
long time." And I'm like, "No, I'm from here."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your mother spoke Balinese with you when you
No,
grew up? No? You so you
she
learned
spoke
here?
German with me.
She spoke
Yeah.
German with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of that aspect
Yeah,
of like
wanting to
wanting to,
really fit in.
yeah, wanting to fit in.
Yeah.
So I had to learn Indonesian and
Indonesian. And
learn
then
Balinese.
yeah.
Yeah, I learned it when I went to school here.
Okay, when you were 7 years
Yeah.
old. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because Balinese is much more difficult than
Yes.
Indonesian.
Yeah. Yeah. Balinese is like the indigenous language,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still learning Balinese
Mm-hmm.
too. Like my Balinese is okay. I can
Mm-hmm.
like communicate, but then as soon as it goes like to
Mm-hmm.
deeper conversations,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm lost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it
Uh,
has been really like a process of decolonizing and
mm,
yeah,
mm.
learning back my roots.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you have two roots.
Yes.
Ultimately, we have infinite roots, right? That's
Hmm.
what we discover. We're
Yeah.
from all places, but at the same time, getting to fully be and honor and cherish
Yeah.
the roots of the DNA in this life.
Yeah.
And
Totally. How's it been for
mm,
you to connect with your
mm,
ancestral roots
mm,
from your lands?
a very long journey, a very beautiful, of course,
Hmm.
uh, beautiful in the sense that it all led eventually to coming home and to coming to acceptance and appreciation and gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And it was painful, painful very deeply, because of all the beliefs and judgments that who I am, what I am, is not good enough. So if it's either Swiss, there's this constant, what you mentioned, this constant striving, this constant becoming, this constant achieving for success, for career, for money, for security, which is funny. We have so much money in Switzerland. And I
Yeah.
think Swiss people in one way are not consciously but unconsciously some of the most insecure people because there is so much money, right? And there's
Yes.
so many insurance on top insurance and so afraid to lose the money that they have, so they can never stop, literally.
Yeah.
Like it's 24/7, especially in the hotel industry. You're working blood and sweat and tears, and if you don't work blood, sweat, and tears, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something off.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, being half Swiss, my mom is Swiss. My dad is actually Filipino, or was Filipino. And so, yes, having those roots, right? But the unhealthy myth growing up, and I also haven't been introduced to the healthy Swiss origin culture. I don't really have found it in that sense, but I make up my own and unfold it in the light of the spiritual view that we are one and whole. So, like that side. And then being half Filipina, growing up in Switzerland, being more dark skin and being adopted in one way, because my dad passed away when I was little, and then my dad adopted me so that I would have the same name than my sister
Yeah.
and brother. So in school, it wouldn't be weird that I have a different name than my sisters
Yeah.
and brother. And like I'm so grateful for my parents, of course, and my family. They did the best they could, and it was amazing in one way, like so much love and so much care. And growing up in Switzerland, in Davos especially, I could do every single sport I wanted: skiing and snowboarding and ice skating and langlab, you name it. But for me, I could never really enjoy it because it was all a competitive sport. And so how can you enjoy something really when it's always about who is the best?
Yeah.
And me being Filipina, right? I would never be the best. Like I'm a bit slow. Even though like I really tried to be hard and fast, and in snowboarding I kind of could then crash it, and had some kind of achievement. One time I made it to second, what do you call it? Second place or something. I know I was so proud, like finally. But in most areas it was not my forte. So like this, you love, and you know how privileged you are, because my dad being Filipino, 15 children, and very, very poor family at that time. Poor in the sense how we translate poverty. Like, is it really poverty? But
exactly,
like that's a whole other inquiry. But my dad was the 15th of the 15th children, or the 15th one of 15 children. My grandmother has 15 babies. So again, dad, like third world country, and seeing my cousins. I would go to the Philippines every year, living there sometimes, and growing up in that compound. They didn't call it compound, but it's a compound. Like everyone together, 10 people in like, I don't know, 3 times 3 square meter, and so much love, so much cuddling, so much nurturing, so much sweetness. But yeah, they would consider themselves poor. And of course, walking around in Manila at that time, Manila has changed a lot, but at that time there were a lot of kids on the road. And so like having that imprint, and then going back to Switzerland and having all this wealth, but still the pressure and not being able to really enjoy what you have.
Yeah.
And then feeling guilty. Like it's that constant guilt that was there with me, like this constant guilt, like, wow, I'm so privileged, I'm white, I should be happy, but I'm not. I don't feel included. I feel like an alien. And then when I go to the Philippines, I also feel guilty because I'm like still the white one, like the privileged one that has everything, and my cousins don't. So yes, it took many, many years to bridge and to heal and to understand what's really going on, that there's no reason to feel guilty in any way. Like it's all a privilege, and we earned it the way we would say in the Vedic tradition. Like it's the karma that is unfolding now, and can I recognize that? And I did, thanks God, as with also the right teachers, with the right mentors that I've had, in my community as well here in Bali.
Yeah.
So, but I get to say, like for me to come back to Switzerland, like I remember now, like that's very vulnerable for me to share also, but like for many years I would teach, very interesting, I would teach in Sweden. And I would go to festivals, Ängsbacka Festival, Space of Love Festival, and I was like good, like really well. I came to Bali 17 years ago and immersed in the teachings of the Veda, and then mentors, and then sacred feminine healing and sacred sexuality. And I was asked to share this also from quite early. So I would, and then I was invited to Sweden. Somehow my karma led me to Sweden. And I would teach, I would hold workshops there and circles there and retreats there. And it was all like effortless.
Yeah.
Like effortless. And it's like just grace and beauty. And I met so many incredible people, big community there. And so like, wow, amazing. And then I came to Switzerland. Melanie, my sister, my blood sister, who I love dearly, and she's incredible. She's part of the Rise Up team. So she's like, why don't you come and teach at Switzerland? Like for me, it was still like Switzerland. I go for 5 days to see my family and then out of it. It was still my nervous system could not really feel safe in Switzerland yet.
Yeah.
And so like still having like just somatic expressions of being in tension and contraction and not being really able to relax. So I didn't think much about it at that time. I knew I was aware of it, but I didn't like, okay, it's just how it is. And I'm kind to myself.
Yeah.
I can't force myself to be somewhere where I just don't simply feel safe yet and resourced enough. And so then, okay, time passes. And then Melanie said, why don't you come to Rise Up Gathering to teach? And like, yeah, okay, I think I'm ready for that. Like, let's try it out. And a few years ago, I had taught the retreat, as a women's retreat. All went really well. That was like really
In
healing.
Switzerland?
In Switzerland, yeah. Somewhere in the French part. We
Yeah.
had like 30 women. And it was also so healing and so beautiful. I was like, am I really now in Switzerland and doing this work here? I could barely believe it. Then a few years, that was just before COVID. Yeah. And that's why then COVID came, and then COVID passed. And then I was invited to this festival. And yeah, that was intense and so beautiful. But intense in the sense like, wow, I could meet some of those still ingrained beliefs and fears of not being welcomed, of being an outsider, of the same beliefs in one way that were formed in childhood and in teenager time, even though I had worked through them many, many times, of course. But then when I came back to Switzerland and was there with the community, it was very interesting to watch. Like I could step into me as the teacher role, the facilitator role, and hold the space that I do, that I know I do very well, very safe in that way. I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
That it's like I can go into this, I don't know if you say mechanism, but default, like, okay, this is, and it was sincere, it was real, not at all fake. It was very sincere and real. But then after the class, then I could meet these other parts that were now surfacing, like just beautiful, like tears would stream out, and just like meeting now the little Jenny. It's my birth name. Sharada is my spiritual name, even though Jenny is also a spiritual name. But yeah, but yeah, just the Jenny, that was like not feeling well. And they welcomed me all. It was just like recognizing those fears coming up, and then meeting them, welcoming and healing, sharing with Melanie, and so sweet, so sweet. And then the second time I went again, and then also my childhood friend came with me, Natalie. She's also an intimacy coach and a women's empowerment coach and relationship coach. And so we were very, very close. And she was also teaching at the Rise Up. And we just had the most beautiful time together. We were just like there on the ecstatic dance and holding each other and crying and crying and crying. Like remember when we went to Zurich and being in teenagers and get drunk and going to this underground, very dangerous clubs in one way. Like so you go kind of very numb, very unconscious. You go and dance, and in the moment you feel tribal and remember kind of all is well, but at the same time it's a very dark, tamasic, people are drunk, right? So of course we're not feeling safe there in those clubs, but you're completely unaware of it.
Yeah.
So then we had like these memories coming back, being at an ecstatic dance and drinking cacao together. And like now we can do the same moves, but being with amazing, loving, heartfelt, or people with a full of heart together, but just purging this. And it was so beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I remember like those times, and also like being underaged. Like they would like let us in those clubs that like many 30-year-olds were in, and like we were like 17, 16. And also like sometimes I look back and like, wow, that was like risky, like some of the things that we did.
Yeah.
And like so beautiful that now we can be safe and we can do all those expressions. And I remember like in those times also like I always loved to dance, and I always like love to express myself fully when dancing, and people like coming up to me and like, oh, do you have some drugs to sell? Because they think I'm like
high.
I'm high. Like no, I just love dancing, and just feeling so grateful now to be in those spaces where I can like dance and fully express like that, and like everyone is on the same page, and we're all like sober, and the only thing that we have is maybe a cup of cacao.
Blue Lotus.
Some Blue Lotus. That for some people the only way to access that is through through consuming something else. But I think deep inside, like all of us humans, we can express ourselves like that. It's just for some people in certain societies, the walls just become too thick that you need alcohol or something else to break through that and to be able to express yourself fully. But I see this movement growing, and like now ecstatic dance in Switzerland is so big. More and more people finding to it, and seeing the joy that can come through.
And also the plant medicine world is growing a lot.
And they all come to Switzerland.
They all come
because
to
Switzerland is very abundant.
Yes, I guess that's the reason.
Yes. And that also I feel very grateful for. Like I remember like now these days when I go to Switzerland, I'm like, wow, I'm just so grateful and blessed that I can plug into this field. And like I know how things work. I have a Swiss bank account and like all those things. And knowing that I'm from a country that is very safe, that is very stable, that the currency is very stable and very strong, and a place that is very abundant in so many senses, like abundant in lakes, abundant in forests, and abundant also in
the air, the water.
Yes. And abundant in the material means as well. Like we have like everything that we could ever want and need. We have trains that run on time. If a train is 3 minutes late, everyone is like, oh my God. So I really like count the blessings that this country has.
I went back to Switzerland after 23 years for the first time for 6 months. So I hadn't been in Switzerland for longer than like a week, maybe 2 was the longest in 23 years. And so then I made it my pilgrimage that I need to go back to Switzerland and really meet this deepest layer that I hadn't met yet. And it was the most magical time to be back in the mountains. I was in the Alps. It was really literally next to the ski slope. I had a snowmobile to get up to the mountain and be in that apartment. And for 6 months, moving through my heart, through my stories, and meeting and arriving here in these Alps, on this land, doing pujas and ceremonies and fire ceremonies, and it was so beautiful. And I got to spend the last time also with my grandmother, who is the grandmother from my dad, my stepdad. She lives right down in the little town, and she gave us this beautiful Alp inherited. We inherited a beautiful house, apartment right there in the Alps. So also such a grace to inherit an apartment with my sister, my brother together, and then having this, we call it the eagle's nest. And all my friends, you're all welcome to be there, to retreat. We also call it the Alp Oasis. And I was up there, and I was just looking at those mountains every day, waking up with the snow, taking snow bath, and just fully like bringing in these 23 years back there to the mountains. And that shifted something that really helped me to integrate those deepest layers. And now I can come back to Davos, and especially Davos, because that's where the strongest imprint were. And I can be back and can walk through the street, and I can feel held and safe.
Yeah.
But there was a time I would walk through those streets, and I felt so uncomfortable still after many years.
Yeah.
It took time to really, really land, and especially also to talk to people in the town, because there are still people that I know actually. Again, and they would ask, "What are you doing? And what is your life all about?" And for many years, I was like, "How am I going to explain what I'm doing?"
Yeah.
And just felt awkward when I would say what I would do. But then now, after those 6 months, it's like could show up and fully like proud, say like, "This is what I do, and this is my school, and I made that much money without living in Switzerland, following my heart,
Yeah.
and sustaining myself, and having a team, and really like owning that." And what a gift! What a gift to be able to do that.
Totally. Yeah, it's so beautiful when we can shift the mindset from, oh, this is a curse to this is a blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I always try to bring that also, like when we do ceremonies in Switzerland or events, like to shift to gratitude, like being grateful for what we have. Because, like you said earlier, like it's a country where we have everything we could ever imagine. Like also all of the countries in the Western world, actually, like such abundance of material wealth, but people like keep chasing and chasing more. And like, how if we like come back to this gratitude and seeing the blessings that we have.
Yeah.
And also in even here in third world countries that people say, like I remember when my mom used to say, oh, she grew up poor, but I'm like, what is poor? You had a house, you had property, and you have a family that cares for each other, you have devotion, you have a rich spirituality. So what is poverty really? Like, does it really exist in this world, or is it just a human construct that we make up, that we always need more? Yeah.
What
Sorry,
would you
I
say?
went somewhere a bit else than what you shared.
No, but it all is interlinked with each other anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what creates this competition mindset. If we think we don't have enough and we need to like fight with each other for competition, for resources.
Yes, exactly.
Like it used to be the law of the jungle, like the strongest survives.
Yes.
But I pray that as humanity we can like start to see how much we have shifted in the last thousands of years and what we have created, like with the grace of our ancestors and where we are now, and that we can like stop exploiting each other and stop exploiting Mother Earth and like see what we have accomplished and rest and just be.
Yeah. And that is so important that it really enters also like the whole spiritual world, because there is competition in the spiritual world, right? And I guess as a musician, you know that very well, in the yoga world. And like when I hear my students, I've been teaching yoga philosophy at yoga teacher trainings for many years, and I'm from yoga teachers, and I love you all yoga teachers. But I don't know how many times I've heard like, this is my competition, like this yoga school and that yoga school and that yoga teacher. I need to like check out the market and see what my competitors are doing, so that I'm competitive, like so that I'm being able to meet the requirements. Like, and so we're just bringing in the same mentality of our Western competitive society into the spiritual world. Again, there's no non-spiritual world. All that is here is spiritual. But what I refer to is when we're embracing that we want to embrace that everything is spiritual. And then dive into the tools and the yoga, the singing, the mantra, the sexuality, the embodiment, the craniosacral therapy, the ecstatic dance, the cacao ceremony. Like it's all here to bring us back home. But then suddenly we're competitors also there. And that's where we are missing that most important piece of the puzzle. We're contributors. Exactly. And that's what Bali is really an example of. I know there's also a lot of jealousy, like, and they have the same thing: who has the biggest offering and who has the most beautiful kabaya. But at the same time, the spirit is of contribution, of yajna, of reaching out.
Yeah, and also we have brought this mentality to other places. So this is also a bit the danger of like spirituality, but like then wanting to go to other places to explore that spirituality. And what we see like happening in Bali right now is that so many people like want to come here and like own a piece of this land and like, for example, I watched this movie that was very touching for me about Charlie Chaplin when he came to Bali in the 40s and 50s. And it was such a different Bali back then. And sometimes I grieve that Bali. Sometimes I wish I could experience that Bali again, the Bali of my grandfathers and grandmothers when the women were topless, like bare-breasted. And he was saying, like, wow, Bali must be the last place on earth that has no capitalism, because people were living in a circular economy with each other, like exchanging the goods from their gardens, like living off from the land, living off from the garden. And it has changed a lot. And nowadays, Balinese people, they have so much to do. And I feel also like many are being exploited in some way, like their labor is being exploited because it's a very cheap labor in comparison to other places of the country. And now many people are coming here, and mostly they're here not for the culture and for the spirituality. Like I saw like this shift in the last years, but they're here because they can live a lifestyle that is cheaper than in their home country, but better, because it's easier to afford those things. And so I also pray that here we can also shift it and like see the beauty of our own homelands and the spirituality of our own homelands, and not needing to exploit other cultures and other countries for their spirituality. And then, and what makes me also like a bit sad is then when people come here and then they say, oh, like they start criticizing Bali. I mean, I know Bali has many problems. It's not perfect. But then people from outside like being like, oh, why the river's so dirty? And like the locals like throwing the trash and da-da-da. And I feel like, wow, like just like this maybe entitlement of like coming to another place.
Arrogance.
And like feeling because you're a Westerner and everything is better in your place, and you can come and like put other people down and put locals down because things flow differently here, because we're learning, because plastic has been introduced here 40 years ago. But yeah, I could go on and on about this subject. But also there, I feel like it could do us so well to come back to this gratitude, come back to
the privilege.
Yeah.
The privileged we are.
Yeah. And acknowledging the privilege that we have, and also like knowing where this comes from.
Yeah.
Because also like many times when then people make Bali or the third world countries, that they say, all these problems that these Asian countries have. But like, where does it come from? It comes from colonialism that has caused this imbalance of power. That's why in the West we have all these privileges. And that's why here people are still struggling with the governments and with so many things, because of hundreds of years long of exploitation.
And conversion.
Yes.
At least Bali is still Hindu, but Philippines, like if I go into my owning up or healing my ancestor root with the Philippines, then that's a whole other story we can cover in our next podcast. It's like when you talk about that, it's like, Philippines is like gone almost. Like they just completely eradicated the natives and the tribes. And there's some little pockets, but it's so Americanized and Westernized, and it's really,
and that's why people love Bali.
Yeah.
That's why people come here.
Yeah.
But then we have to preserve what we have here. Like, and also pray for the Balinese people to realize that, like, how precious it is that we have here. I mean, they do, and we still do our rituals, but still I find like many people here like wanting to imitate the Western lifestyle and like selling off the rice fields and ancestral lands to build villas. And praying that we can see like what makes Bali really so precious, and why everyone is feeling drawn to come here, and that we can protect this. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, tatastu, aho, let it be so.
Yes.
Yeah. And that preciousness, before we conclude, what's the preciousness? I want to hear that from you in Bali.
The devotion.
Yeah,
like I said in the beginning, the offerings, the knowing that everything has a spirit, which is the basic of all the native traditions, like all the indigenous traditions from around the world, like from Celtic, from Native American, they all have this knowledge that there's a spirit in every being, that that there's an unseen world that we call here in Bali Sakala Niskala, Niskala being the unseen, and this offering, this contributing, making these gestures of acknowledging that we're not alone, that we have our ancestors in our back watching us, that we have the spirit world, and that it is our duty to live in harmony with them, that we cannot just exploit and do our own thing and
and think we can get away with it.
Yes. Yeah, that it's not about our ego, but it's really about eco.
Yeah. And the whole.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vision of oneness.
Yes.
Right? You're mentioning the spirit, that everything has a spirit, and honoring that Nishkala, the unseen, and Sakala, the seen, and that the truth is we are one and the same being. The Balinese live and breathe that. They know that you are me and I am you. And and that Swasti mantra, that Om Swastiastu. Swasti means let there be moksha, freedom from pain. And the recognition that we are one. And that's the greeting here. We still have that greeting here where we wish that for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would wish for more foreigners who come here to really see the average Balinese as a teacher and treat them their way instead of just like a teacher who comes from abroad and like charges, I don't know how much, but like to see like, oh, these people are also teachers. It's not only those that have a yoga shala and that everyone deserves respect and and especially the Balinese, the people that are from the land that you visit, like whatever land it is, even if it's like Nepal or Philippines or wherever.
I just had this vision. Maybe we'll have this project, this initiative. Let's give back to Bali, and we ask all those that have been Bali and have been touched by Bali, and we can make this huge contribution to Besaki Temple, something like that. Maybe we'll do something like that. Let's see, where everyone can really give back to Mother Bali, because Mother Bali prays for swastihi, like for peace for everyone, every single day. They don't pray only for themselves. It's
for the whole world.
Whole world. Before and after, like through time. And people don't understand that there are people praying for humanity without even knowing them.
Totally.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you so much.
So it is.
Let it be so. Aho.
Yes.
Tathastu. Amen. Shall we chant Gayatri mantra together?
Yeah.
Balinese and Indian style, and we just see how it comes. The Gayatri is the most revered mantra in Bali, in India, or one of the most revered. Summarizing the whole teachings, worshipping the sun.
And he was saying it 3 times a day. 3 times a day.
3 times a day.
6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m.
And 6 p.m.
Yeah, and the times when the sun is at this like points, different points.
The sandhi, with intention for us to wake up and give back to Mother Bali.
Yes.
Yeah?
I'll let you lead.
Okay, good. And then you can do the Balinese beautiful version if you want. Okay. I'm just going to visualize now our attention and vision that all those that have been touched by Bali, knowingly or unknowingly, which means everyone, that we can give back to Mother Bali through an offering of recognition, contribution, and maybe even if it wants to be so, an initiative starts and we offer to the Mother Temple, Besaki, Vasuki, at the feet of the goddess, our recognition of how privileged we are to exist and to be given a human life. And that we are one family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbanam. Om Bhur-bhuvassuvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayate. Om Bhur-bhuvassuvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayate. Om Bhur-bhuvassuvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi
Diyo yo na prachodayate. We can do a closing with Balinese prayer
version.
closing and Om Shanti. Om Deva Suksama Parama Chintyayi Ya Namaswaha. Om Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om. Tathastu, let it be so. Aho, so mote it be, agnetadu, mashallah, amen. And in Bahasa it is?
We don't really have that.
You don't really have it. Didn't you tell me the other day?
Rahayu.
Rahayu.
But it means blessings. Oh, we can say that.
Rahayu. Blessings.
Rahayu.
Rahayu. Matusuksama.
Suksama.
Danke vielmals.
Dankeschön.
Danke vielmals. Thank you everyone for being with us, feeling with us, maybe crying with us or laughing and smiling. If you want to join Purnama and Juan, they're going to have their first, I think, shared long 5 days retreat in Swasti Eco Cottages in New Kuning next year, May. And you can join them learning the art of offering and rituals and ceremonies.
And sacred fire and cacao.
Yeah. And if you want to have one-on-one sessions, sound healing, vocal healing, vocal exploration, expansion, then you can follow Purnama, purnama.world.
Yes.
It is, yeah. And on Instagram.
Yeah, also. And Instagram as well, purnama.world.
Purnama.
It's my website and my Instagram handle.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. If you got touched, please share in the comments how it got touched you, how you got touched, what moved you, and like the episode and share it. Share the episode with your friends, your family. This supports the podcast. And thank you once again. We love you as you are, love. And until next time. Thank you. Devi Temple is my virtual altar. It is where you join an incredible community of people that have a deep value for spiritualizing their life and discovering the true purpose of life, which is freedom, and also live a life that is free. The Devi Temple is where I teach weekly the Vedic teachings, as well as do I host monthly Devi Temple experiences where you get to come to the altar, come to the temple as you are, and connect to the divine and invoke the qualities and energies that are always within us and in this creation. I want to take this opportunity to invite you warmly to the Devi Temple. That is our virtual altar. It is a membership that you can join at any time and meet an incredible community of souls that have a deep value for Dharma, to spiritualize their life and bring meaning and sacred beauty into their life and into their relationships, and see that life is to be celebrated. And it is where we meet every week for the Vedic teachings that I unfold, the teachings that give freedom, that help us see that we are lovable as we are, that we are the source of security and happiness, and everything that we want is already here. It is a mirror in the form of words, and guided by my 20 years of experiences and living in a Vedic culture, it is my deepest honor and privilege and joy to share these teachings on a weekly basis. There we also chant together, we meditate, and once a month we have the Devi Temple experience where we connect to the field, which means there is no structure, there is no really a curriculum. It's simply you come as you are, and then we meet and we connect to the temple energy. And there we invoke the priestesses and priests and priestesses that we are, and invite the different deities, the different energies to come and use us as a vessel so that we can embody the emotions and qualities that we are either wanting to release or either wanting to invoke into our life. We also have monthly sharing circles that we call Devi circles, where you get to share what is alive for you in your life and be in a safe space, in a courageous space, to be seen and held and supported through prayer, through mantras, and by the community itself. In the Devi Temple, you also have access to 700 plus hours of pre-recorded material. It's basically a well of wells of the timeless teachings that includes the teachings of the limitless self. You have access to courses like the value of values, Vedic chanting, Shanti prayers, Sanskrit. You have access to the Shakti Awakening course, where I introduce the different goddesses like Saraswati and Durga and Lakshmi and Annapurneshwari, and you will learn mantras, as well as you have access to the Priestess Initiation course and access to many more courses, all the mistress and master classes that I have led. You have access to sex magic and different embodiment rituals. This is an incredible opportunity for you to get to know my teachings, to get to know my community. It is for people who are just beginning, but it is also for people who have been on the spiritual journey for a long time. It is a place where everyone is welcomed as they are. It is a sanctuary. And the great thing is you can join from anywhere in the world because it's all happening online. From my heart to yours, deepest gratitude for your presence. May you follow your wildest dreams, live your highest purpose, and expand into the infinite, because that's what you are.